The Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, or AMOC, is Earth's climate thermostat. It moves heat from the tropics to the Arctic, keeping Europe temperate and global weather stable. But recent studies suggest this system has weakened by approximately 15% since the mid-20th century due to Arctic ice melt and freshwater influx. Why does this matter? Because if it collapses, we're looking at a cascade of catastrophic consequences. Welcome to today's episode, where we explore how rising CO2 rates are pushing this vital system to the brink, and why 2025 might be the year we realize it's already too late. Let's dive in. The AMOC functions as a planetary heat distributor, transporting warm surface waters from the tropics to the North Atlantic and returning cooled, dense water southward at depth. This circulation moderates temperatures in Western Europe, ensuring milder winters compared to regions at similar latitudes. By redistributing 1.25 petawatts of heat annually, the AMOC stabilizes weather systems and marine ecosystems. However, its reliance on temperature and salinity gradients makes it acutely sensitive to climate change. Meet Alina, a marine biologist stationed off the coast of Greenland. For years, she's been monitoring the AMOC, a massive underwater current that keeps our planet stable. But lately, something's wrong. Her instruments show the water isn't as salty as it used to be. It's like watching a heartbeat slow down, she tells her colleague over a crackly radio. Back in her lab, Elena pores over data from the University of Washington. What she finds chills her to the bone. The rate at which CO2 is rising matters just as much as the total amount. Rapid emissions exceeding 3 ppm per year intensify freshwater discharge into the North Atlantic, disproportionately weakening circulation. And right now, we're speeding toward disaster. Here's where things get tricky. Scientists are racing to predict when the AMOC might collapse, but their tools aren't keeping up. Climate models struggle to capture the AMOC's complexity, often underestimating Greenland meltwater by 30–50%. Observational gaps, such as sparse Argo float coverage in key regions, further hinder accuracy, leaving critical uncertainties in collapse timelines. A 2025 study highlighted the limitations of critical slowing down metrics, noting that oceanic turbulence and feedback mechanisms defy simplistic predictions. As one researcher starkly summarized, that the AMOC could collapse tomorrow or in 2095. Either way, your pension plan won't save you. Uncertainty isn't comforting. It's terrifying. In Mumbai, Rajiv stares at his empty rice paddies. The monsoon rains came late this year, and when they finally arrived, they flooded everything across the globe. Maria, a farmer in Argentina, watches helplessly as her crops wither under relentless heat waves. Meanwhile, in Berlin, Sophie bundles up her kids against freezing winds that haven't been seen in decades. These aren't isolated incidents. They're symptoms of a collapsing AMOC. Scientists warn that South Asian monsoon rainfall could drop by 30%, while Sahelian drought frequency could increase by 40%. Bangladesh's rice production faces 50% losses from combined salinity intrusion and monsoon failure. Coastal cities drown, breadbaskets wither, and history will judge this era not by its intentions but by its courage to act. Now for the punchline. Governments are still asleep at the wheel. Despite net zero pledges, global fossil fuel subsidies reached $7 trillion in 2024, a 12% annual increase. Only 6 UN member states have incorporated AMOC contingencies into national security strategies, reflecting a dire lack of preparedness. The IPCC's medium confidence in AMOC stability until 2100 exemplifies the complacency permeating international climate dialogues. Meanwhile, oil CEOs quietly build bunkers. Nothing screams we're doomed, like a billionaire's underground wine cellar. Alina sits alone in her lab. Staring at the blinking cursor on her computer screen, she knows what needs to happen, what must happen. But no one seems to listen. Outside, protests erupt as people demand action. But the headlines are drowned out by corporate lobbying and political gridlock. In Mumbai, Rajiv packs up his tools, unsure if he'll ever farm again. Maria prays for rain, while Sophie teaches her children how to ration food. The AMOC isn't just a system, it's a lifeline. And once it's gone, there's no turning back. So ask yourself, what will you do before time runs out? So here we are. We've explored the science, the AMOC's role as Earth's climate thermostat, the alarming rate at which CO2 emissions are destabilizing it, and the cascading consequences of its collapse. From rising seas in New York to failed monsoons in India, the stakes couldn't be higher. But this isn't just a story about numbers or models. It's about choices. Every ton of CO2 we emit pushes us closer to the edge. Yet every action we take to cut emissions buys us time. The question isn't whether we can stop the AMOC from collapsing entirely. That may already be out of reach. The real question is, how much worse will we let it get? Will we rise to meet this challenge? Or will we leave future generations to pick up the pieces? Remember, history won't judge us by our intentions, but by our actions. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Until next time, stay informed.